One Piece chapter 1000, Straw Hat Luffy, is already out. The official translation is already out, so if you haven't read the chapter, I would suggest that you go read the chapter first and then proceed with the video. Now, this chapter was a very interesting chapter, and I think it is a good chapter. Is it a best chapter? Is it like the top chapters? No. By no means is this like a really exciting, like super hype chapters like we had in the past, but this is a really good chapter. Now, a lot of people have mixed feelings about this on Reddit, on Twitter, on all of that stuff, but I can understand why you would be disappointed. A lot of people have been throwing around a lot of theories for what the thousandth chapter is going to be. People were talking about rocks reveal, Will of D reveal, a lot of other revelations probably. Some people even claimed that Luffy will destroy Kaido and Big Mom in chapter 1000 and will be end of Wano, which is even ridiculous. I even made a whole video on chapter 1000 and the expectations back a few weeks ago. And yeah, there's a lot of expectations for this chapter because it's the first 4-digit chapter and it's a big milestone, of course. And I was also expecting a little bit more, but I'm not completely disappointed in what we got. So that being said, we got a lot of progression, so that is something to look forward to. We saw finally Luffy reaching the top, which is mostly what we should have been expecting because we could see the pattern. Each chapter he was climbing one floor, each floor above and above, and we were most likely going to get Luffy and the Verse Generation facing up against the Yonko in chapter 1000. Now, starting off this chapter, we see Luffy getting past, and he talks about Raizo, and he talks about how they protected Raizo. Again, this is one of the reasons why I personally believe that Raizo could be the one who's dying, because in the last couple of chapters, we've been seeing Raizo keep mentioning that, oh, his life was protected, and he wants to return the favor, and they've been reminding us that Raizo's life was spared, his life was saved. So at some point, I feel like he's going to die, but maybe he's not. I don't know. If someone in the Scabbards is going to die, it has to be someone important, and Raizo fits that category. Kinemon, unfortunately, does not fit the category because Kinemon has to meet Otsuru. He has made a promise to meet Otsuru after the war is over. And knowing Oda, even if he ended up killing Kinemon, Kinemon would come back as, what happened with Pound. And honestly, I would rather have him not kill anyone than have a Pound situation. So, that as may, we move on to the next part of the story where we see Queen and King trying to stop Marco. And Queen has a lot of modifications done on him. He had cannons on his mouth, and now he has this extendable neck. Now that goes into a lot of theories that we can build up. Of course, he was talking about Judge just a couple of chapters ago. So you could say that he has some kind of a body modification with his links to Judge or even Vegapunk. So we'll have to explore more on that. Probably when we get a 1v1 versus Sanji. I'm hoping to get Queen versus Sanji at some point, and they will explore more on Queen's relationship with Windsmoke Judge. And then Marco throws Zoro into the roof, and he continues his duel with King and Queen. Of course, and then later on we see Momo and Yamato going over the past. They were talking about the Odin Journal, and he explains about the younger generation, and he explains that Odin foretold that 20 years later the young generation of pirates will be too strong and they will come to Wano, and if Odin is dead, they'll be the ones to take over and destroy Kaido. And that's exactly what's happening right now. And of course we also see a bit of Ace and Yamato, and we see Ace reveal what Luffy's dream really is. Now this has been a really interesting topic for me personally because I always believed that Luffy's dream was kinda weird or unreasonable in a way because he really didn't have any reason to become a pirate. His childhood for the most part was kind of pleasant. He didn't have anything go absurdly wrong like Robin or something like that. For the most part, his life was peaceful, and his grandfather was a Marine. So if anything, he would be inspired by his grandfather to become a Marine. But he met this random, drunk pirate, friendly pirate in a bar one day, and then he decides to become the Pirate King. It really made no sense to me personally, but seeing that Luffy actually has a secret dream, he actually said something that is very similar to Roger, and I don't believe that this has got anything to do with the word Pirate King, It's probably something else, like something a little bit ridiculous and childish, because when Roger said that to Whitebeard, Whitebeard was mocking him like, are you a child? What's wrong with you? They were laughing at him. So it's something to do with Roger and Luffy's personality. It's not that they wanted to become Pirate King, because back in the day there was no concept of Pirate King. The title Pirate King was given to Roger because he conquered the Grand Line. I don't think Roger went and did all that thing to become the Pirate King. It was a result of what he did. He didn't do that to become the Pirate King. Either way, it's nice to see that Luffy actually has a dream, and I want to know more about that. I've seen a lot of theory videos on what it could be, and personally I would like to make a video of my own to see what I can get into, but we'll save that for another time. And Yamato of course respects that, and then they go on chatting about all of that, and we see that Yamato is the one who gave Ace the beaver card, and that brings back a lot of memories of course, and a lot of people loved it. But again, let's move on to the main part of the story. The main part of the story is Luffy finally facing up against Big Mom and Kaido. And this is a very monumental thing because we've been waiting for this panel of the old generation versus the new generation for a long time. Big Mom especially is the only remaining person from the old generation. Big Mom, Big Mom, Roger, Whitebeard, and Shiki. These four are the pinnacle pirates of the Roger era. And out of all of them, Roger and Whitebeard are dead, Shiki is disappeared, and Big Mom is the last one standing. Shanks, Kaido are from the next generation, and Blackbeard is the newer generation. So of the old generation, once Big Mom goes down, Roger's generation of pirates is officially over. So this is a pretty monumental thing when you think about it like that. And the new generation led by Luffy is starting to take over. Now, of course, when Big Mom and Kaido are facing Luffy, they have a lot of hubris and they make fun of him. They say like, oh, what is he talking about? He wants to become the king of the pirates, say it in front of our face. They're making fun of him. Obviously, they are still underestimating Luffy. I can understand why Kaido is underestimating Luffy, because Luffy was not able to scratch him. But Big Mom, he basically ruined your whole wedding party. He basically made you come all the way to Wano to take revenge. You shouldn't be underestimating Luffy at this point. He has done a lot of things to make you angry. He's done a lot of things to piss you off, and he's made your plans go boom. So you probably should respect him a little bit. I'm surprised that she still hasn't, taken him seriously. Anyway, Luffy just walks past them, and then he promises Kinemon to take care of Kaido, sends Kinemon and the Scabbers to a safe place, and then he of course slams Kaido to the ground with the Red Rock attack. Now, this was the end of the chapter, and of course it was a little bit controversial in the Reddit and community and the other communities, of course. Like, some people are really upset over this, and I can understand why, and some people are really happy about this, which I also understand. Now, people shouldn't be alarmed that Luffy was able to land a hit on Kaido. Luffy has always been the one to surpass his limits, and he has that ability to move forward. And at some point, Kaido has to go down. That's the story. Big Mom and Kaido are obstacles, and they have to go down at some point in the story, or we'll be stuck in this story forever. So it's not surprising that Luffy's able to do something like this. And a lot of people have that problem because Luffy's using Gear 3, and he's able to finally put Kaido to the ground. Now, at first, even I was a little bit shocked that Gear 3 was able to do this much, and you can see the reaction from Kaido's face and Big Mom's face that it clearly had some effect. It clearly caused him some damage. And if Gear 3 is able to do this much, I'm of course sure that Gear 4 is going to do a lot more. Now, is this going to be enough to take out Kaido or Big Mom? Obviously not. We know that there's going to be a lot of struggle. The war has just begun, and it's going to take a little bit longer till we see what's going to happen. Now, Kaido is going to get defeated. It's obvious. I mean, of course, Wano has to end up some way, and Kaido has to get defeated. Will Big Mom get defeated? That is left to Oda. At this point, I don't see Big Mom getting defeated yet, or maybe she does get defeated and she still comes back in Elbaf because she has a little bit of unresolved story in Elbaf. Either way, Kaido is going to go down. And this is going to shock a lot of people. This is already shocking a lot of people because they expected Kaido, who's constantly been saying for the last few chapters as the strongest pirate, the strongest living pirate right now, and he's going to go down by Luffy. Now, of course, Luffy is not the only one who's going to be taking down Kaido, because there's also Law, there's Kid, Killer, Apu. All of these people eventually are going to join up. Right now there's 5 of them up there. I also believe Hawkins and Apu at some point will join up and they're going to team tag. All that stuff is going on. So it's going to be a huge team effort to take down Big Mom and Kaido, obviously. But this shouldn't really be shocking for anyone in the community, because even though Kaido is constantly praised as this monster, he's so strong, he's one of the ferocious fighters, Ace Novel keeps telling that he's a ferocious fighter, even more ferocious than Whitebeard, all of that good stuff about him, he's a monster, he's all that stuff. But at the end of the day, Kaido has been defeated many times. He's been defeated over 9 times, he's been captured several times. The whole problem with Kaido is not that he could not be defeated. The whole problem is that he could never be killed. That is what's going to come into play here. Kaido, of course, getting defeated should not be a shock to anyone anymore, because the guy basically is a loser. He's been defeated by many people many times. The Marines, the Yonko, a lot of people have defeated him. That's what his introduction was all about, that he's a big loser. He just wants to kill himself, and he couldn't kill himself by himself. So, will Luffy kill him? Will Luffy be able to kill Kaido? That is what the story is going to be. Defeating him? Not a problem. It was never a problem. But, of course, based on Luffy's track record with his past enemies, no one has ever died. His past enemies, I don't recall anyone dying from Luffy. So I don't think Kaido is going to die. Or, it could be that Kaido is the first person that Luffy is going to kill. Because, of course, Kaido himself wants to die, and Oda could make it into something nice and, granting him wish of death or something like that. That said, Kaido has to get defeated, and Kaido will get defeated because he has been defeated many times. It shouldn't be a shock. People should not assume that Oda pulled something on us. Of course, there are a little bit of weird things happening. Luffy has grown too fast. All of that thing is acceptable, but this is not a shock because Kaido has been defeated many times before. Even though he's one of the strongest people in the world, he has been defeated. Same with Whitebeard. Whitebeard was the strongest man, but yet he was no match for Roger. He was constantly at fight, and there were people who could defeat him. The same with Big Mom. She's a monster, but at the same time, there should be people who can take her on. Anyway, chapter 1000 was kind of a controversial chapter in the Reddit community. A lot of people loved it, a lot of people hated it. I believe that was one of the top, rewarded chapter in the entire One Piece community, the entire Reddit community for One Piece. I think that was the most rewarded one, and that was the most, almost 25,000 upvotes. So clearly a lot of people enjoyed it, and a lot of people think it was a great tribute. And personally, I really just got choked up just by seeing the chapter's title, Straw Hat Luffy. That was a perfect title for this chapter. And the remaining chapter was all about Luffy. They were trying to hype up Luffy. Obviously, in Japan, the popularity poll is up, so they want Luffy to be in the top of the popular list. And of course, this is all connected to that. They want Luffy to look good on chapter 1000, and that's why they gave him this whole moment. But in the end of the day, this was really good for the progression of the chapter. We did not get anything out of the blue. We didn't get anything mind-blowing. We didn't get anything that we expected. We were expecting Rock's flashback, Will of D. I was expecting at the very least to get a little bit more information of the Will of D, but unfortunately we didn't get any of that. Now, chapter 1001 is supposed to be coming out in next week, I believe. I don't think we're on a break next week, but I could be wrong on that. But anyway, this chapter was pretty good. Not the best, but it was really, really good. We got a lot of progression. I love this chapter. The art on the chapter was really good. Luffy, of course, declaring that he wants to be the Pirate King. I also think that Luffy has some other dream going on, his actual dream that Ace didn't want to, say it out loud. And when we find that out, when we find out what he and Roger said the same thing, that'll be really interesting to see what it is. And other than that, there's nothing really else to dissect in this chapter. Very good chapter. I would give this chapter a 4.5 5. A 4.5 would be a decent rating for this chapter, nothing more, nothing less. I'm looking forward to the next chapter. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I will get back to a few videos on what I think about the power scaling. A lot of things are wrong with the power scaling in this community. Of course, we'll get back to some theories and all of that stuff in another video. I hope you continue watching, and I will catch you on another video.